Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to a special podcast series created in honor of Black Maternal Health Week. I'm Dr. Akesia McMillan, and this week exists to center the voices, leadership, and lived experiences of Black mothers while advocating or advancing community-led solutions that promote healing, trust, and collaboration. Across the United States, Black women continue to face significant disparities in maternal health outcomes. Yet within our communities, we also hold powerful traditions of resilience, advocacy, and collective care. That's why this year's theme centers around the SOUL framework, meaning speak, observe, understand, and lead. To speak means that we create space for truth and lived experience. To observe means we listen to our bodies and to one another. To understand means that we seek knowledge rooted in science, culture, and community wisdom. And to lead means that we use that knowledge to transform maternal health for future generations. During these series, we're hosting expert interviews. We're talking about some of the most critical health conditions affecting Black mothers, including hypertension, sepsis, hemorrhaging, gestational diabetes, and maternal mental health. We'll discuss these conditions and the research behind them, how women advocate for their health, and the role of community organizations like Shades of Motherhood Network in supporting families. This conversation is about awareness, empowerment, and change. Because when Black mothers are supported, informed, and heard, families thrive, communities grow together, and generations are protected. And so today we are having a powerful conversation based on we deserve more than survival, reimagining Black maternal care, and centering joy, culture, and connection with the amazing Anna Frank. So welcome to the podcast, Anna.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. And how are you doing today?
I am doing outstanding. I'm excited about the interview. And for those that don't know you, Anna, I just want to share a little bit about who you are and the work that you do.
I would appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So Anna Franklin, she is a wife. She is a mother of 5 children. She's a sister. She's a friend and auntie to many. And she is the founder of Magi Rising in Spokane. And at her core, she's someone who believes deeply in the power of community, culture, and care, and what's possible when we center those things and how we support one another. Magi Rising is both a movement and a platform reimagining healthcare through culturally rooted holistic care. This organization is creating spaces where people just don't access services, but feel seen, heard, and valued in the process. Through their work, healthcare is not just clinical, it's relational, it's cultural, and it's deeply human. And so I'm excited about talking about the work that you are doing through Magi Rising, and just some of the things that you share is that individuals are seen, they feel heard, and they feel valued, because so many people express that they don't receive that type of concern. They don't receive that type of attention when it comes to healthcare.
And I have to say, can I just share that Magi Rising
Thank
and
you.
and where that actually the root of the name, where it comes from, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course, please do.
So Magi is water is life, water is health in Swahili. And the reason why we went to from that core and from that root is we know our bodies are made up of water. We also know the history that water has had in our lives, for our ancestors, for our future generations. And when we think about water is life, water is health, then how do we all rise together?
That is so beautiful, and that is so powerful. Just the fact that it's founded, in that aspect of water, because water is living, like creation. Nothing can exist without water, whether it's who we are as human beings, what it is in creation, that nothing can exist without water. And so it's like you are that presence in community that is that water. You are pouring into lives and just really bringing a lot of life into the spaces that you are touching. And so, with your organization, what motivated you to do what you're doing?
Well, as you said, I am a mother of five. I'm a wife and play many, many roles in the community, and have had many roles throughout my life. But a lot of the work that I do really comes from rethinking about how we think about care and how we think about wellness. At my core, I believe in the power of community, and I have that strong belief because I have experienced what happens when we show up as a community, and the power as a community from a culture perspective, from a care perspective. And I've also seen, witness what's possible when we center those and how we support each other, because we can't do this alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so before we even go talk about that, one of the things that I want us to imagine is, what does it truly feel like for each one of us to be well?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does well really feel like to each one of us as an individual? Because it's different.
Yeah.
For many of us, wellness is not just clinical,
Mm-hmm.
it's human.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Yeah, and that's so good, because when you say it's not just clinical, I think that's so much of what people are experiencing today is the clinical side of health
mhm.
versus really seeing them as a person and what those individual needs might be to address the specific health concerns to help them to really move into that space of better health.
Right. And when we're in those spaces, it's about being in spaces where we're not questioned, where we're not doubting the concerns that we might have, but we're actually being celebrated.
Mm,
About walking into a space where, oh my gosh, Anna, thank you so much. We are so excited to see you today. We
yeah.
are so excited to be in this space with you today, because that's looking at my culture not as an afterthought, but it's truly receiving me and who I am and my humanity as the foundation
Mhm.
for what we are about to experience together.
Mhm.
So healing doesn't come from just from a prescription. It comes from the heartbeats, the rhythm that each one of us brings, the language that we each bring, the
Mhm.
connection that we need as human beings,
Mhm.
and from our spirits.
Oh, and I love that you share that, because even just thinking about, the current healthcare conventional model that, patients or clients, they come in, it's like a 15-minute, haven't really reviewed much of what is going on with your health. But as you said, it's more than just about a prescription, which
Mhm.
they're prescribing, because that's like the first, you know, act of treating any type of condition, where there might be nurturing or listening or really getting to the core of what that person is experiencing, versus just trying to medicate a symptom when that's not really what she needs.
Right. And so when I go, and I think we need many solutions. I think there are situations where we need the 15-minute
Mhm.
visit in the clinic. We need to get our blood pressure checked. We need to get our
Sure.
labs checked, and we need to have this conversation. But how do we take advantage and utilize all of these different solutions together? I think about when I enter space into shades of motherhood. Any type of experience I have, it really recognizes, I feel seen, it recognizes who I am, and I feel that trust, that level of trust where I can speak my truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we think about but that's because I can share what wellness feels like for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, wellness is I'm able to laugh.
Yeah.
I'm able to experience that joy. I'm able to experience the sun that is shining in my face very brightly right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's wellness to me. I'm able to be active. I'm able to take that walk through the park. I'm able to eat the foods that I want to eat in a way that I know I'm going to experience that because I love to cook and I love to eat. That's very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we start to build our systems that actually honor what
Yeah.
wellness feels like to each one of us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're right, because it does look different for everyone with that whatever space that's in. And so wellness, as you shared for you, it's being out in nature, it's cooking good food, it's having the sun. And for someone else, that might look different, but really being able to reach that level of understanding and accepting that, hey, this is what it looks like for you as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And so that's really what Maji Rising, when we think about what we want to be about, what we're looking, how we are in community today, how we've been in community, and how we looked our vision for being in community in the future. It's really about creating those spaces where people are not just receiving care, but they have that feeling of being seen,
Mhm.
trust that they are being heard and valued.
Mhm. And that, in a sense, is like the most important part of the work. Because when you feel seen, when you feel heard, when you feel that nurturing from whoever it is that's speaking with you, it really builds that trust. It builds a connection on a deeper level as you're receiving that care, and that's so tied into the work with Black maternal health. And so what was it that really inspired you to become involved in the conversations surrounding maternal health and the well-being of mothers?
Well, um, I am a mother of five, and in each one of my pregnancies,
Mm,
I experienced both the gaps
okay.
in the care that I received, and I also experienced the power of the support I received. So I
Mm,
experienced both.
mhm,
And so spending my career in healthcare and also experiencing those gaps and those in the power, I seen my community, my family, my friends experience the same thing in different ways, but it
mhm,
was still in the same context.
mhm,
And so that's really what pulled me to think about and to even have the courage, the
mhm,
imagination to build something better, because it takes a lot of courage to become an
mhm.
entrepreneur.
Yes, it does. Some people say it's like being on a roller coaster.
It is. But I know the power in what I experienced when others invested in me.
Mhm.
So how could I not
Yeah.
take my knowledge, my experience, and invest in others,
Mhm.
especially mothers?
Mhm.
As mothers shape the future.
No doubt. And, sometimes when we go through those experiences, like you were sharing, you experience the gaps in care. And so now, through your experience of going through those situations, you're now able to support others through the work that you're doing in the entrepreneurial space to help women where you see those gaps to fill those gaps and then provide the support that's needed. And so when you were going through your pregnancies, Anna, what did support look like for you?
Well, each pregnancy was different. I look at each one of those as a journey. And I remember in my very first pregnancy, I was 20 years old. I did not have a strong foundation to lean on, but there were a couple of people that were there for me. And so I didn't understand what my OBGYN was sharing with me. I didn't understand. I was nervous about breastfeeding. I didn't understand what it meant for my blood pressure to be high.
Mm,
Um, all I knew is I just needed to get through each day.
yeah.
And if I got through each day, I survived.
Mm,
I was
mhm,
here.
yeah.
I didn't understand the shift in my hormones. And so what support looked like for me came in the form of my foster mother.
Mm,
And I was no longer in foster care, but she walked alongside me.
yeah.
She held my hand. She answered my phone calls,
Mm,
checked on me. When
mhm,
I was in the hospital delivering my firstborn son,
yeah.
she was there feeding me water chips, wiping my forehead,
Mhm,
telling the doctors, telling the nurses, she's scared.
yeah.
Be gentle.
Mhm,
She's in pain. Something doesn't feel right. I need you to listen to her.
yeah. And I love that image, and I could just imagine a loving mother there supporting you, and that human element is so important, Anna, to have someone that's just present, because sometimes just having the presence of someone there to support as we're going through pregnancy, because it is a very wonderful, beautiful time, but it also comes with those concerns and challenges as you shared. But having that presence, or in a sense, having that person who represents that water that's there with you to support you through those times.
And fast forward with my fifth child, I was 39 years old.
Mm,
I was in my career, stable, married. We have our home. We have four other children, but I'm 39 years old.
mm, yeah.
So my fears shifted.
Hmm.
And I'll never forget, we took the 16-week test and the results came back positive, potentially positive. I
Hmm.
was in healthcare. I've been working in healthcare.
Yeah.
I knew the process. I knew the systems. I knew the structures. I knew who to call.
Yeah.
Right. I knew what type of testing I needed to
Hmm.
further verify those results. But I
Yeah.
still had all of the anxiety. My husband was amazing. He held my hand, but
Yeah.
he didn't often always know the right language I needed
Mm,
for those fears. And I
yeah.
didn't know anyone else that was 39 years old and pregnant,
Mhm.
really facing this challenge of, because of my age, my baby girl may have Down syndrome.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, and even as you're just sharing that from 20 to 39, you're at greater risk, high
Mhm.
risk pregnancy, different things are impacting the baby, hormones amongst a number of different things. And so From 20 to 39, you needed a different level of support. Your husband was there. What are some things that also supported you during that time at 39, Anna?
I remember calling my physician, my OBGYN, and saying, I can't do this.
Mm,
I, I what, how is this even? I just couldn't, it was too much for me at the time emotionally.
mhm.
And I started to feel myself sink into a depression because I started to think, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
I started to internalize it and think it was me. I was doing something wrong. I was harming my baby.
Mm,
I was causing this. And my physician, he didn't get it at first,
mm,
but then he got it.
yeah.
And he said, would you feel better if we talked to the radiologist? I said, yes.
Mhm.
He goes, just in knowing you, Anna, I wonder if it would help if we laid out all of the steps instead of going step by step. What if we looked at, okay, so what are all of the different steps?
Mhm.
Laid it out as a plan. And I was like, yes, that is it.
Mhm. Yeah.
But he took the time to have that conversation with me.
Mhm.
And that was not a comfortable space for him either.
Yeah.
How that was not a comfortable space for him.
Mhm.
So we ended up talking with the radiologist who was doing the more extensive imaging that I needed. We laid out the plan, and I was still like stressing. Like, how could you not feel all of the anxiety, all of the stress, and so forth? And
Yeah.
my husband was like, "Honey, you need more than just a plan. You need someone that's going to care for you.
Yes.
That's going to sit. That's going to listen
Mhm.
the way that you need it."
Mhm.
And so I found that person, and that person sat with me. That person went to all of the imaging visits with me and my husband because I needed more than just my husband. My husband's amazing. Don't get me wrong. He was great. But I needed more than just him, and he realized that. I needed more than my doctor. I needed more than a radiologist. I
Yeah.
needed someone that could connect with me on a much deeper level, someone that I could just trust and
Mm,
just let it all go
mhm.
in the moment.
Yeah. I love the fact that you're sharing your story and what you went through, the highs, the lows. And there are so many women, Anna, that may suffer in silence during their pregnancy, whether they're having, depression or even postpartum. And so, as you're sharing your story, what do you think we can do as a society to create safer spaces for women to share their stories?
I think we have to change the narrative from being strong to being supportive.
Mm,
And the way in which we ask the questions, that first question that we started off the conversation with of what does wellness look like for you?
yeah.
What does support look like for you? And
Mm,
not just the traditional surfacey response, because for me personally, I would say, oh, support looks like just listening to me. No, what does that really, really, really mean?
mhm.
What
Yeah,
does support look like if I say, I am feeling extremely tired, I know something's wrong, but I can't pinpoint it? What does
right,
that conversation look like? What does that space look like to allow us to go deeper?
right.
Because if you're feeling like something's wrong, if any
Mm,
one of us are ever feeling that way, we
yeah.
have to listen.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
something is wrong,
Right.
and we need to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's listening, creating those spaces where we are able to listen without judgment, or
Mm-hmm.
able to pause and be in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
listen without judgment, so that
Yeah.
we are believing women and we're making it okay for women to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, and we look at healing in a more organic way,
Mm-hmm.
where there is so much power in the healing touch. And
Mm-hmm.
something as simple as holding my hand,
Yeah.
bringing me ice chips, and looking beyond what I'm saying, but looking at how I'm presenting.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much power in the healing sounds of water,
Yeah.
of music.
Mm-hmm.
How do we create these spaces where we're bringing that in?
Yeah.
Healing power of touching the earth
Mm-hmm.
and all of the healing properties that our environments bring us.
Yeah. And that's so good as you're just sharing that, in order for women to open up and to have these conversations, it starts with building an environment that people feel heard, seen, listened to, because that really creates the trust that she needs to feel supported. And it just sounds like so much through the work that you do that that's what you offer, and hearing the stories of many women and helping them to navigate their pregnancies. And so, what is the most enjoyable part of the work that you do, Anna?
You know what I love?
Mm.
I love seeing somebody experience care in a way that they never expected.
Mm.
Last year, Maji Rising hosted a block party,
Mhm.
and we brought so many different services together, all in one location. We made it low barrier, we made it free, and
Yeah.
we brought joy, laughter, music. And I walked onto one of the mobile units that was offering dental exams through the Smile Mobile.
Mm.
And there was an elderly gentleman who I had seen enter through, and he was hesitant. It had been a while since he'd had a dental exam,
Mhm.
and a New Order of Worship was playing on the stage in the background.
Yeah.
I walked onto, and he was in the exam chair, and he was getting his teeth, his mouth was open, and the exam was occurring.
Yeah.
I was just doing a quick check and making sure everything was going well for everyone.
Mm.
Um, but what I noticed about this gentleman is he was tapping his feet
Mhm.
and his fingers on the edge of the exam chair, where your arm rests.
Yeah.
He was slightly bobbing his head as much as he could within the dental exam. He
Mm.
felt safe, he felt joy,
Mm.
and he was receiving the care that he needed in the way that he needed it.
Yeah.
That's what brings me joy with this.
Mhm. Wow. Meeting people where they're at, giving back, meeting their needs, and as you shared, just bringing that joy and being able to experience that and knowing again that you are pouring that water onto a life that may not have had the opportunity to experience that in the work that you're doing.
And the spaces that we are creating for
Mm-hmm.
everyone.
Yes. Yeah. And that really does tie into the theme surrounding the conference, which is speak, observe, understand, and lead. And so, as we're closing out our interview for today, from your perspective in your work, what message would you share with women who feel unheard or unsupported?
I would share that your voice matters.
Mm,
If
mhm.
you are not being heard, that does not mean that you're not valuable, because you are.
Yes.
You matter. It may mean that the space isn't aligned
Mm-hmm.
with what you need,
Mm,
but also you don't have to carry this alone.
mm-hmm.
There is a strong community, and there is not a one size solution fits all. We need a variety of support.
Mm-hmm.
We need a variety of spaces. We need a variety of approaches and conversations.
Yes.
And we have that. And we are creating that.
Mm-hmm.
And so always remember that your voice matters. And we need to hear your voice loud and clear.
Mm-hmm. And that's such great wisdom because, as you share, that sometimes the space just not may be aligned with what that person needs.
Mm.
So it's really being able to discern that, being able to know that you don't have to settle for that, but really connecting with individuals such as yourself, Anna, and through the work that you're doing through Magi to really provide that support, that listening space, that nurturing space that so many women need, that listen as well as honors them in those spaces.
Yes.
And so, Anna, it has been my pleasure hosting you on the show today. This has been so enlightening. I love the work that you are doing and making a difference and pouring that living water into the Spokane community through your work. So, thank you.
Thank you. I have enjoyed our conversation.
Yes. And so for those individuals that might want to connect with you, Anna, that want to connect with Magi, where can they find you? Where can they connect with you?
We are, well, we have a website. You can find us at www.majirrising.com. So it's majirising.com. You can also find us on social media. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, and we also have a monthly newsletter that we send. Around 4 to 6 every 4 to 6 weeks, updating on local community events, not only just the events that we are hosting, but more importantly, all of the events that our community is hosting, and really figuring out how do we start connecting each other to have those warm handoffs so that the care continues. So
Mhm.
we may receive a care in a specific event, but then how do we keep that flowing through our community? And
Mhm.
how do we keep those connections going? So that's how you can find us. And also, anyone is feel free to reach out to me as well.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, again, it's been great hosting you. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing and have an amazing day.
Thank you. You too. Talk to you soon.